this working? Oh, it's working now. All right, you ready, Sue? All right, we will call the meeting to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
You notice that when you do it, huh? No.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move on now to roll call.
Councilmember Hall. Here. Councilmember Mazzoni.
Here.
Councilmember Palfini.
Here.
Councilmember Tavalero.
Here.
Mayor Parham.
Present. Okay, well, now we'll move on to the acceptance of agenda or urgency items.
I will move to accept the agenda with a couple of changes. We're going to table F on the consent agenda. And then under council business, B, public safety, it should not say spring fling, it should say steampunk and rat rod show.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to non-agenda public comment. This is an opportunity for anybody from the public that wants to make any comments that are not part of the agenda tonight.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Richard Dingus, and I represent the Weed Chamber of Commerce at this time. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce the new executive director who's going to be taking my place. We're in transition right now. I will be gone on the 15th. So I'd like to introduce Nancy Irvine, who is going to be taking my place. And I hope you all enjoy the steampunk meeting, but the event coming up next coming weekend, not this coming weekend. So, thank you.
Richard,
Thank you for your service.
thank you for your service. You've done a good job, Richard. Class act.
And Nancy, welcome aboard. Thank you. Look forward to all of your work. Any other non-agenda public comment?
Anna Nicholas. Probably shouldn't say my last name. Anyway,
Please.
we own the bowling alley down the street. And I noticed that you guys are painting the windows of the abandoned buildings, and I was informed that is to cover up the washing machines and other used appliances in the windows. I don't want to complain or just be a complainer, but I don't like it. It just doesn't really represent the town of Weed. But I also don't want to be just one of these people that complain and don't have maybe a good solution to the problem. So I don't know how many of you have been into my bowling alley, but I have done wall murals of pictures around the county. And I'm getting ready to put in a golf simulator, and in that golf simulator room is going to have a picture of the Weed Golf Course, the Mount Shasta Golf Course, and the McLeod Golf Course. I wanted one from each town. I would like to see on Main Street Weed, instead of these, what I call bizarre paintings, what I have been told by other community members is, to them it looks like graffiti. And they're pretty upset about some of it. But anyway, there is a place where you can go and you can get screens with these murals and pictures on them and put them in the windows. Show what the county has. Don't try to cover up stuff. Try to advertise what we have. We have golf courses. We have an ice skating rink in Mount Shasta. We have waterfalls. We have lakes. We have beautiful country up here. And that's going to do more to draw people than, I think, than your art. I could be wrong. But on all my wall murals, I put where that is. And I had two girls from Germany one morning walk down Main Street. Nothing was open on Main Street. They come into the bowling alley, they seen the wall murals, and they headed off to the McLeod Falls. They said, we thought there was nothing to do in this county. I said, this county is an absolutely beautiful county. We have a lot to do up here and a lot of healthy, fun stuff. So just a suggestion, maybe do these screens. If you want to know where to get them or how to do them, come to me, I'll help you.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Of course.
That's, the window that's right there behind you, with the two on the side, what would a window like that cost for one of the murals you're talking about?
One of my wall murals that I put up is a 4x, or is it a 6x6?
The ones on the side?
No, it's on the side. It's actually was a lightning strike, 3 lightning strikes. It was a picture taken out at my son's ranch. It cost me about $200 for that whole mural. And I had it put on solid paper. I didn't have it put on the screens, so, but I can find out what it costs for the screens, and I could give you guys prices all day long.
That's a great idea, I think.
So,
Thank you.
just a suggestion, because I went to court for jury duty, of course, and there were so many people upset by the stuff on Main Street. And not just up there at jury, I think I ran into the whole town of Weed practically. I think they brought them all up there that day. But there was also other business owners that aren't real happy with it, and that head in the window next to Comsey's office, it's freaky. Just my opinion. It's not, to me, it's just, anyway.
I don't think, one thing we didn't have, Diana, we didn't have this option. You know, thanks for bringing it forward. I mean, it's a great idea, and when you talk about being able to advertise for the county, wonderful. I mean,
Because I have a photo I want put on the screen.
Well, I won't share the opinions of my staff, and what they call that head, but I do want to thank you for coming forward here at the meeting to speak your piece. And I would like to encourage everyone else in our community to come forward and do the same, both for things that need improvement as well as for things that they're excited about or happy with, such as our infrastructure changes, the work our fire and police departments do for the community. It's important for the staff and the council to hear this kind of feedback, whether it's constructive criticism or positive accolades, so that we kind of have a bearing of where we are and where we need to be. So thank you for that.
If I may, I would also thank you for offering a solution. That's
Yes.
very important, so thank you.
Do we have any other non-agenda public comment tonight? Okay, we will move on to council member announcements, meeting reports, and comments. And we will start with Councilmember Tavalero.
I have not gone to anything. I have a commission meeting next Tuesday. I am going to meet with, well, maybe not, meet with a gal tomorrow to drive her around to look at bus stop areas, stage stop areas. And other than that, I'm nothing.
All right, Councilmember Hall.
Mr. Mayor, I don't really have anything other than I wanted to, is for the Opportunity Center, you know, want to remind people when we, when on a recycle, take the caps off of the bottles. It's a big, there's a lot of time spent undoing bottles, because when they try to smash them, you know, there's an explosion. But just a reminder to try to take the caps off your bottle, throw them and put it in separately. One of the issues, not only here but everywhere, is just the manpower it takes to sort the recycle out, and doing little things like taking the caps off it. Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Mazzoni.
No, I haven't been to any meetings, but I do, this coming Tuesday, I do have a meeting at the county for the LAFCO meetings, and we're going over the budget for for the LAFCO committee, and then they're also going to be doing some raises with all the fire. Each city's gonna have to put in a percentage. It's not gonna be a lot, because the funds are down and the cost of everything going up. And it's all at a good cause. So, I'll get more information on that after the meeting, so I'll have it for the next month. But anyway, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Pelfini.
All quiet on the western front, nothing to report. How's that one? That's strange, but anyway, it is. I have lots of little things, but nothing that's
I thought of something.
phenom.
Yeah.
I just remembered Saturday, May 11th, which is 3 days from now, is the day that the post office will pick up food, non-perishable food, if you place it in your mailbox. All of the food that is picked up in this town of Weed, and I'm going to guess around it, goes to the food bank here for our local people. So if I could remind people in Weed to do that for Saturday.
That go to Siskiyou Food Assistance?
It goes to
Right,
Siskiyou Food Assistance. Yep.
All right, well, I would like to thank staff for all their work with the spring fling, both the setup and all the activities before, during, and after. Also like to encourage everybody to come out and join us for the Steampunk and Rat Rod Festival in a couple of weeks. I think that'll be a good, fun, family-friendly event. And also, thank you for Public Works with the plowing and road maintenance with our impromptu snowstorm that we had recently. It was apparently only hit us for the most part, but I saw you guys out there, and as a motorist, I appreciate the work that Public Works and PD was doing to keep the roads moving. So,
I did want to add one thing. I did have the annual Kids Day Festival up at the park. I forgot. I've been to so many meetings, I'm not sure where I reported all these things. But I did want to say thank you to the police department. Thanks for the Public Works, although they didn't show up too much, but they did help us with water. It was a big deal. The fire department showed up. We had approximately, I don't know, at least 1,200, possibly as many as 1,400 kids and parents up there. The Rotary was there. I'm trying to think of all the organizations. I think every organization in Siskiyou County was partially there that had to deal with kids and nonprofits. So I do want to thank the whole public for participating, and especially our city. It's a big ask sometimes to get the city to show up. So, I mean, I know you guys were busy with other things going on, so thank you very much. That's it. So.
all right, now we'll move on to presentations and proclamations. We have the County Siskiyou Office of Emergency Services here to discuss the Ready Siskiyou Alert System.
Excuse me. Good after evening, City Council. I have this as well, and these are printed copies. So I'm here on behalf of Siskiyou County OES, and hopefully you have heard, but we have upgraded our warning and alert system. Code Red was a dated system. The county adopted that in 2013, and that just hasn't been as useful, and the updates to Code Red have not been what we'd asked for as a county, and a lot of other counties saw the same. So we have moved to Ready Siskiyou Alerts. We have a little slideshow with it, and then along with it are the same slides that I'm showing. So the idea was to replace and get rid of Code Red. We used it last year, the Ready Siskiyou Alerts, in conjunction with Code Red, and we immediately started to see the benefits, and we'll talk about those briefly here in a moment. But being able to push out alerts quicker, and one thing that we really liked was the interface on the dispatcher side. So we were able to do a lot quicker, timelier, and accurate notifications with that. So with that, we had, of course, before we move anything forward, we're gonna make sure that our local departments are 100% on board. So we've worked with all of the departments and the dispatchers. For us, that was the key, is to really train all of the dispatchers and throughout the county and understand that, A, we started with a train-the-trainer, so they can feed that back down to their dispatchers and work throughout the county and have a common operating system that we can use. The one thing that we really liked about it, as we saw with any one of our large fires, is that any one dispatch unit can get quickly inundated. So being able to pass that off has really been a big push for us. So Ready Siskiyou Alerts, it's a sign up, it's very easy. It's at alerts.readysiskiyou.gov. It will take you right to Smart 911. Once you sign up, it immediately brings you to an app on your phone, and you can sign up through there. It's got a QR code. What I really like about it is that how easy it is, because you can put in all the information that Code Red limited us to. So we can put in, if you have an access and functional needs, you can bring it all the way down to how many pets you have. If there's any significant issues on your property that you need to address in there. And when that gets sent out, that information comes back to the dispatchers or to the emergency operations center, and we can see what vital information we're needing for that area. So really, really good user interface. Additionally, there's a feature that allows, if someone's in distress, they can send that back as well and let the dispatcher know. So with that, we are at alertreadysiskiyou.gov. We ran a test on the 11th of April. It went good. It didn't go as what we thought it would go. And we are running another test this week or next week, the 15th, and then we'll also do our 2 emergency tests in June, which is significantly, we've always made sure that June is like our wildfire preparedness, getting everything ready. So we'll use 2 back-to-back in June, and we usually do like a noon and then like a 5:30. So you'll see another big push from us this week on May 15th for our second sign-up, that's second push, and having that data transferred really been helpful. But we want to just make sure and have that checkbox made that everybody is signed up. So our staff is standing by. We've worked through a couple folks and got them through with just some very easy, like, hey, I forgot to check this box. Easy, we'll fix it for you. So yeah, pending any questions.
Oh, I got time.
Okay.
Are you gonna go to every council
Yes.
meeting
Yes.
in the county?
Absolutely.
Okay,
So
you
we've
don't
been
need to
a
come
few-
to Lola.
I would love to come to Lola,
What's all the same people?
but that's
You
okay.
go to every council meeting.
We like you.
Ask Dunsmore. So I have, Code Red on my phone right now.
Yes.
So I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yes, please.
Okay, and then when I do this, because I'm saying this for the old people.
Yeah,
not me,
100%.
But the other old people that are trying to figure this out. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. So I'm gonna get another app?
Yes. Only if you want it, though. You don't have to do the app. Smart 911 is an optional app. Once you sign up, you're already in it. It's like on Code Red. Do you remember if you use Code Red, you could click on it and then it would give you all the alerts? Smart 911 will give you that same option, only if you want it.
Okay, so I don't have to have an app.
You don't have to have an
So
app.
if I'm 75 and don't, okay.
Yep.
But I'm going to go to where that
Yeah,
is.
alerts.readysiskiyou.gov, and it'll take you right
This
to the
one?
homepage.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, that big giant one.
It's big giant one right here. So I'm doing that. And then I'm gonna fill all the stuff out,
Yes.
and then it's gonna be magic, and I'm gonna have it, and they're gonna call me, and
Yes, and there's one little checkbox that says, do you want to check all alerts? You're going to want to check all the alerts. And when we say all the alerts, you're not going to get like, hey, snow plow in Mount Shasta. You're not going to get that because it's going to be regionally specific.
it is, okay, so
Yes.
those little zones that we used to have,
We still have zones.
We still have zones.
Yeah, so Genesis and Zone Haven, which is the same. Zone Haven changed their name to Genesis. Genesis Protect is still a program that we use. So when we send the alert, it will send the alert with your zone number in it. So I think your prefix is.
so I don't have to remember my zone number now.
You should always remember your zone number,
Yeah, okay.
Councilwoman.
What's our zone number?
That's for each. Mine is 1286, and I have to keep reminding my wife that every year. So
What's our zone number?
it's per
Yeah,
neighborhood.
I
Yes.
think there's a few in town, I don't know, I don't have it written down.
I'll bring you down some magnets that you can hand out to your staff and to the folks.
In town?
Yeah, absolutely. We have magnets and stickers that says know your zone. I'll bring some down,
That'd be fun. I like
Yes.
stickers.
right on your refrigerator.
Okay. All right. I don't have any more questions.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you for the presentation.
Absolutely. Thank you. We appreciate it. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. Okay.
So if I'm old and I don't have a phone,
Yes.
I'm going to get a phone call?
So if you're, yes, because we still use reverse 911, and then also as a policy in Siskiyou County, we also knock on doors. So that's still not gonna never be a thing. You will always get alerted. Additionally, as policy for Siskiyou County, we also use iPause. So whenever there is so we have a warning and an order. Whenever we push an order in Siskiyou County, we also push an iPause. We don't love iPause because it is the integrated public alert and warning system through FEMA. It's very broad. So there is no zones. If I draw a circle and I say, this is what I want pushed, it goes to that circle and in a 10-mile radius around that circle as well. And whether you want it or not, you're getting it.
And if I don't have a phone or.
Oh, you're getting it. Yeah.
I mean, if I don't have, it's going to ring my telephone.
It's gonna ring
My landline.
television, it goes on the signs, it goes, if you have a smartwatch, and it keeps going until we tell it to expire. Where Ready Siskiyou is very direct and we can send it to a very targeted area.
Right.
That's why we don't love iPause, but during an evacuation, so during the mill fire, we sent an iPause and it just kept pushing because we didn't put an expiration on it. So like, 13 hours later, it was still pushing that until we had to go in and pull it. That's why we don't love iPause. That's why we needed a better, more targeted alert
Right.
system.
But my thought is going back to the Bowles fire, and all of them since then, you have people say, well, you know, the 88-year-old woman that lives next door to me doesn't have a phone, or how are we going to get a hold of her?
Right.
So it will ring her telephone, it will,
In an order, it absolutely will. Some of
Okay.
that we need to, and that's gonna be on us and the council and you as city members and community members
to get them to go to this.
to push that out. We're going to every community meeting that we can go to. I think we're at a senior event tomorrow that we're working with as well to get those folks to sign up. And I think a lot of it, there is that fear of capturing your phone number, and I don't want to give my phone number out. We're not using it. We can't even go in there and look. And that was one of the things that was very challenging with Code Red. We absolutely couldn't go in and look. At least now we can organize and rack and stack phone numbers as needed.
Okay,
Yes.
are you leaving? I might think of something else.
I can stick around. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda minus the tabling of the finance.
I'll second it. Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, sorry, public comments. I'm not used to having a public. Thank you guys for being here.
It's a consent. Just kidding.
All right, no public comment. Do we have any comments from staff or council?
Nope.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we have no items removed from consent. We'll move on to council business. Starting with item A, building and construction. By motion, council will consider introduction and first reading by title only of ordinance number 474-2024, adding chapter 16.44 electrical vehicle charging stations and chapter 16.48 hearings and appeals to the Weed Municipal Code. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, we talked about this at the earlier work session. This is just keeping us in compliance with AB 1236 and AB 970 in regards to what we need to be updated with our EV streamlining process for businesses and individuals that are wanting to put EV stations in their homes or businesses. This just streamlines it and makes it much easier to do.
Are the new houses that are being built being required to put a charger in their garage?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I think they're just being plumbed for it, they're not actual charger, right? Because there's several different methods to charge.
So they're required to have the wiring to be able to charge. It's not a Tesla charger that they're putting in. It's
just
the
a-
ability to plug in within their garage.
Yeah.
All right. Any other discussion with the council? Any public comment?
I will make a
Nope,
motion.
we do have public comment.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question. John's not here. He took off. I believe they were going to try to commission them today. So what happened is they've made multiple trips down here to check the system, and they're getting ready to when you start seeing a bunch of Teslas pull in or other cars pull in, then you know it's been commissioned. They have to go through all these procedures before they actually flip the switch to turn on these. But they were out there today again, testing them again. So we were hoping, they told John that they would text him when it goes live.
Okay, I saw them working today and yesterday doing
Yes.
that same thing. But this is Richard with the Weed Chamber of Commerce, and we'd like to do a ribbon cutting when you're all ready for opening that.
When we get the commission, then we'll set a date
Thank
and do that. That'd be great.
Okay.
And by the way, just let everybody know, we were the second V4 charging station in the state of California, is right here in Weed. These chargers can charge 80% in 15 minutes. So, yeah, so this thing is going to be busy. So when it does come on, which is good because it brings more people off the highway and more people into downtown Weed.
Thank you.
You probably also want to mention that you don't have to have just a Tesla. They'll charge anything.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. The chief just brought up, Richard, these are not just for Teslas. These, if you have the adapters available in your car, you can adapt to these to be able to charge your EV car as well, so.
Will there be something released in the paper for that, or? What paper? We don't have anything. If we could get that information, we could put it on our website,
Yes,
let people know that.
yeah, we'll get that.
Thank you.
All right, any other public comment?
With that, I'll make a motion that we introduce ordinance 474-2024 and approve the first reading of ordinance 474-2024 by title only. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Weed adding chapter 16.44 electric vehicle charging stations and chapter 16.48 hearings and appeals to Title 16, Buildings and Construction of the Weed Municipal Code.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Good job.
Aye.
Public comment?
Aye. We did public
Oh,
comment.
sorry, my bad.
Just checking, I know. You were just checking, making sure I was paying attention there.
We get
All
replay,
right.
we can just play it
Motion
again.
carries. All right, item B, public safety, event encroachment permit. By motion, council will consider approval of encroachment permit for May 18th, 2024 and May 19th, 2024. Closure of Main Street from 0700 hours to 2100 hours for the Steampunk Festival and Rat Rod Show. And waivers of Weed Municipal Code 9.16.010 and 9.16.030 for outside sale and consumption of alcohol within the event boundaries only.
So this is similar to the request from last month for a separate event, 2-day closure. They requested in this event from morning to evening. I'm again going to suggest that council closes the roadway for the entire duration from start to finish on day 2 due to the vending booths being on the street and not being removed. And it sounds that would be the plan if you do allow them to keep the street closed overnight. And again, the waiver is standard practice within the event boundaries. Unlike the previous event, this one is on a Saturday, Sunday, so there won't need to be any adjustment of the boundaries midway through. It'll just be from Inez to Division. And yeah, it's up to council whether you want to close for the entire duration. It'd be 38 hours versus making them pack up and leave and come back the next morning.
Have all the business owners been notified? I actually had heard somebody that complained about the prior closure. I don't know what it was about, it's just bringing it up.
We didn't know.
I don't know, it was just a complaint, I think.
I didn't receive a complaint regarding the closure, the complaint regarding the previous event. The one business that we had to make the boundary adjustment for them to be open on Friday, was unaware that they could call us if their driveway was blocked, and it was blocked on, that morning. So when I did speak to them, they were unaware that they could have called the police department, and we'd have been right down there to handle that immediately.
Okay.
The other issue we had was one of the participants didn't realize, that the boundary was gonna be mid-block, and they had put their booth out there, so my suggestion was to move it wasn't a booth, it was tables and chairs under a tent. I suggested move it up onto the sidewalk, because I was concerned that a vehicle going into the business that was open might clip somebody sitting on the street. So that was the issue there, but nobody actually complained, they just were not aware that they could call us to unblock their driveway.
Okay.
Justin, you can tell this is gonna be a begging thing. Is there any way we can do something with Clay Street?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Making it one way,
What
something?
the chief and I have discussed is on the cars that park on, what side of the street,
That'd be the west side.
the west side of the street, a lot of cities, what they do is, when I was in Auburn, I was on a parade route, and we had on-street parking just like Clay, and they would notify us they would put these pylons down there for us to move our cars during the parade or during this, no parking on that side of the street. And I think that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna notify the residents on Clay, the ones that park on that side of the street, so we can have emergency vehicles and stuff that can get down Clay Street.
On the dance studio side or the houses side? The dance studio side?
Yeah.
So that's gonna require some action on that tonight, to
Is that-
council to say that we're gonna close down that side, because I've got to post it 24 hours in advance. The issue that we have there, we talked about doing both sides, is you're gonna lose some municipal parking because those people have to move their vehicles somewhere, so they're gonna have to move to the city municipal parking lot. The other issue is if you just wanna keep going down the list, so we have no overnight parking in the city municipal parking lot, you're required to get a permit to do that. So that's gonna take a waiver of, it's something that's easily fixed, but I'm just saying that's what, you're gonna lose event parking because the people that you're asking to move off of Clay are gonna need somewhere to put their car. They don't have any none of those houses have driveways, so.
How many cars park on that?
I'd say probably, what, 10
Yeah.
to 12?
It varies, but on that side of the street, one of the houses is the reason why you require a permit for a city municipal parking lot, because at one time they had something like 12 cars.
Okay, have we gotten rid of some of those?
They did, but yeah, I can't control how many cars somebody owns, and I only control somewhat how often they park in a city municipal parking lot.
This will be the first time for us to try this.
Oh, we're gonna try it this
Well,
time?
if you guys approve it tonight.
Can we just willy-nilly approve it like that?
So you would need to amend the
amend
motion
the motion.
to include those requests of staff. So
Yeah.
we're basically, what we're looking,
I do it.
My question though, how's it gonna help by
It-
closing that down?
Well, what it'll do is, Councilmember Mazzoni, it'll allow our fire trucks and stuff to get through Clay Street. Right now, they can't get there because people park on both
Yeah,
sides.
you can get through there now.
I know, but if we
Right.
remove one side of the parking on one side of the street parking on that side, on the, what we call the dance studio side, if there's no cars there, they can get through there
So
easier.
just one side of that.
Just the one side, yeah. And it'd just be for the duration of the event only.
And then will it be open like it was last time during the off hours? That will be down and they can get through Main Street if they need to?
No, Main Street's gonna need to just remain closed because,
How did they get through it last time? I thought we had something where they went.
no, there was a fire lane, but that was in case there was an emergency, they need to actually get in there and render aid to somebody.
And there's
So
still
was
that.
just
That is
Yeah,
still
that's
there.
still-
What we're talking about is fire's concern with response time, because they can't get up Clay Street, so that what they have, or if the event's going on, they're gonna have to go Roseburg Parkway to Lincoln onto 97 and then
Well, you
southbound.
can go
that way.
park. You can go down park back here.
That's also, but if you go park, you've either got to come up another narrow street to get back to Main Street, or you've got to come out on 97 at, park in 97 at the railroad overcrossing. So,
Yeah, the idea here is that if we had to respond with fire to, say, Old Street Apartments, that they could get there a lot faster than having to route through 97 and take the long way around.
Yes. Okay.
So-
I think it's just a.
Forget the fire department, I didn't really say that. But two regular people can't go down
Right.
Clay Street
And that's why
during
this
the
came up.
event. Because I had to, and you have to sit and wait for these people to come, and then they get mad, and we don't have the guy there
Well,
with
this,
the sign.
like I said, this isn't.
We could try it.
This
I think
isn't
we should try
reinventing
it.
the wheel. This is very common in
Yeah.
some cities because of the parking situation. So, I mean, we could try it for this event and move the cars, have the cars moved for just the duration of it. And would have to waive the overnight parking, of course, so.
And there's that little baby parking lot that's kind of behind US Bank, which,
that is a possibility, but I believe
But I
that
can't tell
is
from where
not, I think that's US Bank's parcel, I would have to verify, but so I can't say you can go park in somebody else's parking lot.
So
But
I-
there is parking availability.
So I do
There
know
would
that
be,
the
but you-
US Bank parking lot has been, given on loan to the Chamber of Commerce for the Rat Rod Show. That's actually where they're putting the Rat Rod cars.
but you know what I'm talking about, the part on the other side of the,
It's on Clay Street.
yeah, off Clay Street, between Clay Street and the alley.
I
There's,
don't know who
There's-
has ownership of that.
yeah, there's some
We would have
parking
to ask
spots.
the
That's not a
private
city
owner.
park, I believe that's also US Bank. so
Yeah,
I'd
okay.
have
Are
to
you putting cars there?
verify, but-
I
Rat
don't
rod
believe
cars?
so. It depends on how many cars enter. So, do we have any other public comment? 'Cause we've got a lot of discussion up here, good discussion up here. So basically what we're looking at is, entertaining a motion that would amend the request for the closure for the entirety of the event, allow the city to close off the west side of Clay Street during the duration of the event for parking, and also waive the overnight parking disallow for the city parking lot, so that those people have a place to park within a reasonable distance of their normal space. It's a mouthful.
I will make a motion that the council approve the encroachment permit for May 18th, 2024 and May 19th, 2024, closure of Main Street from 0700 to 2100 hours for the Steampunk and Rat Rod event.
Sure.
And include waivers for parking. And I guess, and I should include, and waivers for WMC 9.16.010 and 9.16.030 for outside sale and consumption of alcohol within the event boundaries, plus waive the overnight parking and make Clay Street a one-way road.
Not one way.
One-way,
parking.
oh,
It's just-
make parking
Parking.
available on one side of the street.
I
Go ahead.
will second all that.
And I just pulled up on my parcel map that US Bank does on that small lot back there by the alley
Yeah.
too, the little bitty one.
Use our new GIS.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further public comment? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Me, I oppose.
Okay, motion carries
don't you
4-1.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
Justin, you notifying the people on Clay Street, obviously, is gonna be a key thing. Are you not, you plan on knocking on doors to explain what's gonna happen during that, or?
So I think
how
the
would-
best thing to do would be also have a handout for them as well.
Okay.
Just knowing the residents on that street, some of them are actually English as second language, so I want to make sure that we're clear with them. And so, and is when the time comes, we're not going to be down there with a tow truck just telling people, we're going to try to find, that's what we do. We always try to find the owners first. So, yeah, we will work with them, try to explain it.
And
Should we approach those people first? We have 10 days.
yeah, well, and we'll also put out some little cones with some signs on it, basically letting them know that day there's not gonna be any parking on
Yeah,
that
but
side.
if
Yeah,
they're
it'll-
English as a second language,
It'll
I really
be
struggle.
like, as we do on Main Street, we'll ask Public Works to give us some barricades to put out there, and we'll space them down with a sign saying, notice is gonna be closed on from this time to this time. So,
I
and
would
we've gotta
think-
do that before 24 hours in advance.
Okay.
So.
I would think they'd appreciate that, during that 2-day thing, because living there, I mean, it's one thing to drive down it, but living there, you can't be, fun either. I think it's a good move. Good.
Can you ask US Bank if they can use that little section? No?
It's not, no.
Okay,
I
not in
mean,
your,
well, I mean, that's not, it's private property, and I'm assuming they would say no, because they don't wanna assume any liability on that, so.
There's only 3 cars.
3 in that parking lot?
Yeah, there's not very many.
Yeah, there's maybe 5, but, yeah, it's very limited, yeah, because they're diagonal down. I can't remember if the lines are even painted right now, but, yeah.
okay.
All right, our next item, item C, Human Resources by motion. Council will consider introduction and first reading by title only of ordinance number 475-2024, an ordinance amending section 2.12.070 of chapter 2.12 and chapter 2.16 of title 2 of the Weed Municipal Code regarding city manager appointment authority over city officials and the fire department.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Before you this evening is, for introduction and first reading, is an ordinance that would put the appointment power regarding the city clerk, the city treasurer, and the fire chief within the city manager's authority. Currently, as drafted, the municipal code puts that authority with the city council to make the appointments. Back in 2016, the city moved to a council manager form of government. But when it did that, it did leave the offices of clerk and treasurer to be appointed. It also created at that time an inconsistency with the ordinance regarding the fire chief. And so what this ordinance would do would change that so that those offices are appointed by the city manager, which is in practical effect how they've operated since that time. So with respect to the fire department ordinance, it's essentially a cleanup of an inconsistency that was created. And with respect to the clerk and treasurer, it would simply further the centralization of the manager form of government. So the council still has ultimate authority with respect to the manager, and then the manager has authority over, as a human resources officer, over the employees of the city. So with that, happy to answer any questions.
I have a question, or actually possibly just a correction, not a question. Under line, line 4, it says, right before it says, all appointed officers and employees, comma, and all department heads, except for the city attorney, and we should have include and city manager.
No. Are you talking about the revision to 2.12.070? Yeah, no. So what that says is that the city manager has the power to exercise control over and appoint all appointive officers and employees,
Okay,
except for me.
okay.
You can't, we wouldn't also include the city manager because he doesn't have
'Cause-
authority to appoint himself.
Okay, gotcha.
That is your authority as the city council.
Okay. Well, that's what I thought it was saying, was the appointment of all shall rest solely with the city council. That's why I was thinking about.
No, that's the city manager, that's saying what the city manager's power is.
Okay. The second thing is do we have anywhere where we have a description of duties for the city clerk and administrative secretary, however we want to term that position? So that everybody's clear on what everybody's supposed to be doing?
We do have job descriptions that were done, I believe, in 2018, and we can modify those as
Well,
such.
I didn't see it, so I
Yeah.
just questioned it. Okay. If they're there, they're there.
So I think it would be a good thing if the city manager or staff could send these job descriptions for all the department heads to the council, just so the council can familiarize themselves with those in case there are any needs for adjustments in the future.
Okay.
I think that's important that the council understand the roles and responsibilities of everybody on staff, and that should be a maintenance item to review those every couple of years.
Okay, sounds good.
Any other questions from council members? Any public comment? All right, seeing as there are no further questions or public comment, we'll entertain a motion.
Ready? Anybody ready?
You got it, yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to, is it a first reading?
Yeah,
Introduction, first reading by title only of ordinance number 47520224, an ordinance of the, sorry, Jeremy, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Weed amending section 2.12.070 of chapter 2.12 and chapter 2.16 of Title II of the Weed Municipal Code.
Regarding? Don't have to?
That's the title.
That's the
That was
title?
the title.
Okay. I was just reading too much, I guess.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I tried to make the title short so that it wouldn't be too much to make the motion.
Like to
Nice
read the
job.
whole thing
Right.
out front?
All right, now we'll move on to item 10, which is staff reports. And we will start with Chief Carter.
All right, good evening. Not too much to report. Quick rundown. We currently have 7 sleepers. When June comes around, 6 of them will be working for CAL FIRE this summer. And 1 of them will be one of our seasonal firefighters. 2 of our temporary firefighters started this week. They're completing their orientation training and will be starting their shifts next week. I don't have any official word on the fuel mitigation grant yet, but it's looking positive. We're working on cleaning the outside of the station to prepare it for paint. 4 of our sleepers graduated from the fire academy last week. And 1 of our volunteer firefighters is finishing up the first half of his medic program, and we'll be moving on to the hospital and ride-along portion of his class. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Director Porterfield.
Not a lot to report, just getting things ready for 22-23 audit and looking at different software options, which I'll be bringing next month, a recommendation. And we will be, in the next month, working on budget and doing some budget adjustments for 24-25, most likely, for the departments.
All right, thank you. Director Sharp.
And to let you know that I had an employee this week pass his water exam, so now he is certified water, so we have 2, which is good. Now I need to get a second one at the sewer plant, but hopefully that'll come in due time. It's the first time we've ever had 2 people certified in water, so we are meeting the state requirement now.
How long does it take them to do that? Is it like a 2-year class or?
No, it's, he went down to a 1-week class, and first he did online stuff, then he went down to a 1-week class, then he did online stuff again, then he went down to a 3-day refresher, and then he finally was able to take the test this week. So it takes quite a bit of time.
Good.
So
cool.
sewer's a little bit longer, but we're required to have 2, but they've never came down on us because we're so small. So
Is somebody else working on towards getting the sewer one, or no?
it's being talked about.
Okay, cool.
That's first step, so. And also on our White Avenue project, we're just about done with that with the sewer, and we're gonna be paving some stuff back. And then the second part of that grant was our SCADA system, which is going to be started hopefully next week sometime.
And that's on the water tower?
Yes.
Water tower. What are you gonna do with White Avenue? Are you gonna put rocks, or are you gonna?
They're gonna base rock it back. We're gonna pave right there at the entrance, cut
Right.
it down a little bit, so.
And then the rest will have some kind of base rock?
Yes.
Good.
Yep. We're closing it up, so. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Chief Mayberry.
All I have is just going to let the council know that all the departments worked together last week in the service of a civil inspection warrant, actually 4 civil inspection warrants. Just going to give you a very generic update on some of the conditions that were found. Without naming specific locations, I will work north to south. Building 1, structural damage concerning the foundation, front of the building and interior ceiling between the first and second floor. California Building Code plumbing and electrical issues noted. Also an illegal opening onto another property. Possible hazardous materials in the basement and stairway access and egress issues. Building 2, first floor is not in good condition. Possible severe water damage causing that. Also in the basement there was some mold issues found, indicative of the moisture level causing the problems on the first floor. Roof leakage leading to the ceiling damage observed. Also electrical code violations observed. Deck, rear deck severely compromised and will require complete total engineered build. Building 3, roof leakage leading to ceiling damage in both first and second floors. Electrical, plumbing, and HVAC issues observed. Stairway access egress issues requiring rebuild. Possible exterior parapet weaknesses issues, which has already been addressed once on that building, and it's continued, the parapet's continuing to fail due to the just age, basically. That building also, I observed, it's not noted in the notes, but it previously had some load-bearing wall issues that were supposed to have been fixed. I don't know that the fix was up to code, so that also would not engineer a building, but I did note because that was some of the issues in that building going back 6 years ago. Building 4, this would be not one of the 3 that were in a row. 4th building, illegal wood stove installation, possible electrical violations and stairway access egress violations, plumbing and HVAC issues unknown, need to be determined further. Exterior roof appears to be marginal condition. So just wanted to give you an update on, those were some of the findings. The building department, John Pemberton, is still preparing the final report to present, and that'll be available in the future. And then I'm sure that'll be a discussion item you guys will have without me, so.
Well, thank you for the update, and
Yep.
we'll look forward to the complete report.
I have one question. Not regarding what you just talked about. How's our staffing? Is the staffing up? Is our staffing up?
Currently, my non-sworn is full.
Okay.
And we still are down 1 patrol officer. I have one that's probably halfway through field training, so he'll be on his own by midsummer, hopefully, if everything works out. But yeah, we need one patrol officer still.
I noticed in one of my emails that there was a COPS grant available. You probably picked that up too?
We do receive those.
Okay.
We have obtained those in the past. I'd have to look at the guidelines for this year.
Looked like one of those 3 years and.
Right.
Yeah.
The issues we've had is, I remember the last time I believe we received that was probably around 2010. But we never really remained fully staffed. It was, I think, in my entire career here, we've probably been fully staffed maybe for a total of 4 months. So, yeah.
Do you have anybody applying?
No, so if we want to have this discussion, where we're at in the market of law enforcement is a employees market. If they want to go somewhere else, they can easily do so and probably find, out of Siskiyou County, if they want to leave, they can find much more money. I mean, it's not just here, it's across,
Well,
we've had 2 applicants within 2 years, and one of those didn't pass my background.
I looked at the requirements from COPS, and they're actually, based on a 1-year salary, it was considerably more than what we pay. So I think it was up to 125 for one employee.
Well, yeah.
And I know that far exceeds what we have, so.
Employees, not just here, but in every department are being, actively recruited by other agencies at all times. I mean, it's, that when I became an officer here, the day I interviewed, there was 12 for that one position. And, here we are with 2 applicants in the last year and a half, so.
This is not just here, it's just.
It's everywhere, yeah.
I was on a call earlier today with a bunch of city managers, and that's one of the top topics every month is trying to recruit law enforcement. And some cities are giving like $50,000, $75,000 sign-on bonuses, and,
There's actually cities down in the central eastern part of the state that are looking at hiring off-duty officers from other agencies to come in as secondary employment to try to fill shifts. I mean, it's to that point in some of those areas, so.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. City Clerk?
Yeah, I am still searching for one planning commissioner, so if you guys know anyone that might be interested, have them please submit a letter of interest. This one seat that's still open is open to the citizens or sphere of influence, does not include Lake Shestina. So if you guys know of anyone that would be interested, I still have one seat available.
So it is a sphere of influence?
This is a sphere of influence seat, yes. Let's see, June 1st will be a free dump day. The County of Siskiyou, along with Caltrans, is offering a free dump day at Black Butte, Wairika, and Happy Camp. They do not take, this is for household garbage, not green waste, no tires, no furniture, no appliances. Sorry, Mark. There are, I did print out and put some flyers in the front lobby, so if anyone's interested or if you have a place you want to hang one, go ahead and take one. If you need more, let me know. Also, we are working with Parks and Rec, thanks to 22nd Avenue's generous idea, request, and donation to the families within the city. We're looking at doing a proposed free family movie night at Bel Air Park. Parks and Rec said they would sponsor it. We were first looking at June 14th, but now that's possibly being moved to accommodate night swim. I believe Nancy would like to move it more in July. We have not heard, so we're waiting on that. And I think the movie that might be proposed is the original Love Bug, because that was shown at Cool April Nights, and I guess it went off very well, so. So we'll keep you posted on that. It's a moving target, so we'll keep you posted on how that.
What happened to Goonies? No,
Oh, that would be good, yeah.
What one?
Goonies.
So
It's a classic.
I have had members of the public that have approached me outside of the council hours to share that they do watch these meetings and give feedback, including positive and constructive criticism. So I'd like to, those of you that are watching from home, we've had this open vacancy on the Planning Commission for quite a while. Several members of this council and previous council started on the Planning Commission, and I would challenge those of you in the public to get involved in your community and consider, if you have the time to, consider applying for that position and support your town. It's important that we have a planning commission that's fully staffed so that we can get a diverse and qualified amount of people involved to make sure that as things move forward in this community, that they are done so in a positive and efficient manner. So.
And we'll offer a sign-on bonus of a free pen, like I'm wearing right here.
And a fresco?
And a fresca, and a hat.
And a hat.
And a beanie that says City of Wheat, so.
Case of water?
Case of-
All right, our city manager. I was gonna save the best for last, but we'll let, we'll let our city attorney go there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The only update I have, you may have seen in the news, the California Business Roundtable measure that's currently pending before the California Supreme Court. They had our oral argument yesterday, which I was able to watch portions of. I think the press, the impression from the press was that the Supreme Court seemed reluctant to rule on the measure before the election, that they thought post-election review would be more appropriate. However, I didn't necessarily hear that from the court. I think it's still a little bit up in the air, but I certainly thought that some of the justices were concerned about the breadth of changes that the measure proposes. So we should get a decision by the beginning of April. They have 90 days to issue their decision. So they could either pull it from the ballot, say that it's a illegal constitutional revision that requires a constitutional convention and not simply a vote in November, or they could let it go to the ballot and then come back and potentially find that portions of it are improper and sever it, essentially. The business roundtable measure, the one that would basically make it extremely difficult for local governments and the state to put revenue measures on, adopt revenue measures. I mean, even to establish water rates would be extremely difficult. And it would have retroactive effect going back to 2022 when the measure was originally circulated. So, you know, all of the water rates that we've amended since then we'd have to redo all of that again, for example. So that's my update.
All right, and to the city manager, you got a big one to top there with all the fun legalese.
Yeah, mine will be pretty short and sweet. Just to let everybody know, we've ordered the clock for Main Street. The flowers will be installed by Craig and his staff on the 22nd of May. So we didn't have to wait till June this year. I think the freezes will be over, so we'll have those installed. Richard with the chamber and Nancy are working on, again, having a volunteer from the, it's kind of a paid volunteer from the AARP. They pay for that. That's what paid last year for somebody to go up and down and water the flowers. On Tuesday, I attended the stakeholders meeting for SORA. That's the Siskiyou Outdoor Recreational Association. They had a South Siskiyou Sustainability Committee workshop going over some of the stuff that was brought in by the community members the night before, kind of talking about some of the priorities. One of the things that was discussed quite a bit is having some connections among the cities and trails. One thing that was discussed quite a bit was the Weed to Mount Shasta, putting something together for hiking and a bike trail between the two communities, as well as several other things. Really good dialogue. Yesterday, Craig and Chris Davis and myself attended kind of a premature pre-construction workshop for COS, but to let everybody know, it's there. This is for the new dorms that are going to be built. It's a $32 million project. It's 106 rooms with 178 beds. And so there'll be lots more discussion once that groundbreaking starts as well. So, and that actually will be very beneficial to this community, because what that'll do is free up rental space for houses and some of these apartments that are being taken by students that families and other individuals need. Because right now, with the Bowles fire and with the Lincoln Heights fire, housing shortage is big time here in Weed and all throughout Siskiyou County as well. So just let everybody else know that as well. So, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. All positive news. All right, at this point, we will now adjourn to closed session.